Stevie Eskinazi's simply ridiculous run of form continued as, for the second game in succession, he hit his career best to lead his side to a one-day cup victory, this time by 102 runs against Surrey. Put into bat in Radlett, Eskinazi settled himself in along with partner Mark Stoneman before the skipper swept Amar Virdi for the first of his 6 maximums. After 10 overs, Middlesex had reached 61 for 1, Stoneman falling in Connor McCur's opening over as a left-hander cut to Nico Reifer after making 23. A terrifically timed flick for 6 got Sam Robson's innings underway, but it was a short and sweet one, out for 18, chopping on McCur, Middlesex on 94 for 2 in over 16. Eskinazi came into this contest fresh from his scintillating List A best of 146 not out in the thrashing of Durham. Everything about his game is in perfect order right now, and a 5th 4 took him to another half-century. He found excellent support in the form of Peter Milan, this pair carrying the total to 153 for 2 at the halfway stage, their partnership quickly starting to develop into something to concern their rivals from South London. Eskinazi was by now making batting look too easy. There was much talk, of course, as to why, given his efforts in white ball cricket of late, he wasn't snapped up for the 100. That competition's loss was certainly Middlesex's gain, as the opener took his batting average in this format to 50. Milan was matching him shot for shot, and 2 sixes struck off Cameron Steele soon had him at his own 50, one which had used up 45 balls. Still, with 20 overs of the innings remaining, Middlesex were extremely well set on 196 for 2. Eskinazi struck this 4, his 11th to motor to 99, and his 4th century in his 24th innings in the 50-over game soon followed. In just less than 2 hours at the crease, he'd faced 88 balls, struck 11 fours and 1 6, and he still had bags of time to add plenty more to his tally. The sun-drenched support were loving every minute as Milan next swept Steele over the rope. With his bat having been raised and the pressure of a ton approaching now gone, Eskinazi managed to increase his already bloated scoring rate. There were probably some sharp intakes of breath as he hit Ryan Patel for 2 successive 6s. He and Milan added 142, made in only 19 overs together, the latter finally departing for 64. The spinner struck again in his next over, Max Holden departing for 3, top-edging a reverse sweep. And Joe Cracknell's innings was also over quickly, he chipping Steele to mid-off to fall for 4. With 10 overs to go, the total was on 252 for 5, and the innings was petering out a little when Luke Holman also chipped into Nick Camber's hands, out for 17. Eskinazi was still there, and with 3 overs left, he had 138 runs out of his side's 296 for 6. 55 more were to follow from those 18 balls, Eskinazi taking 22 runs from the 48th over. His 13th 4 to go with his 4 sixes had him at his List A best again and at his 150. 22 more runs were added in the penultimate over, Eskinazi taking his tally of maximums to 6. He had by now become impossible to bowl at. Not that anybody present had any sympathy for a weary Surrey attack. Another audacious shot had Eskinazi to 182 and meant that in the last 2 matches he'd scored 328 runs. Then stop the press, everybody. He was out, although it took a sensational catch behind the stumps to do it. What a knock, what a man. Thanks to him, Middlesex posted a 50-over total of 351 for 7. Middlesex's grip on this game was firm and became yet firmer as they began their defence by removing Ben Geddes, bowled off the inside edge by Umesh Yadav for 7. Surrey slipped to 23 for 2 in the 6th over. Steele retired injured to be replaced by Josh Blake, who nicked his first delivery behind. 10 overs in and Surrey had recovered to 55 for 2 with Patel looking in good nick. He led the way in partnership with Tom Laws, this pair adding 79 runs for the third wicket, with Patel completing a 50 of 52 balls. A very well judged catch on the fine leg boundary's edge by Martin Anderson then did for Laws on 27. Toby Greatwood, the happy bowler, which soon left Surrey on 120 for 3 from 20 overs, 232 more required of 30. Patel was still a threat, however, and he moved into the 70s with his second 6 halfway through their chase, and his team were on 151 for 3, needing 201 more. Wickets would set Surrey back, and Bamber supplied the one of Rifer, who was bowled for 15, the total now on 160 for 4. Patel was playing the role of Eskinazi and now wasted no time in moving to 3 figures for the third time. This 6 had him at 95, and next ball he went large again to take him to 100 off 83 deliveries, from which he'd struck 4 sixes and 11 fours. Middlesex needed him out. Instead, they struck at the other end, Bamber hitting the timbers again to remove Kimber for 3, Surrey on 188 for 5 after 30 overs, and now needing 164 more for the remaining 20. The match was effectively won when Patel, having made 118, hit his 99th delivery to Robson, who judged the catch well off Anderson. 2 balls later, and McCurr edged this same bowler behind, and that left Surrey in a pickle on 207 for 7, effectively 8 down, with Steele not returning to the field. Nathan Barnwell on debut smashed 3 sixes before he was yolked by Yadav to fall for 31. And the match was completed, Yadav doing exactly the same to Verdi. Surrey ending their innings in the 42nd over with 249 runs on the board. And that meant a very comfortable victory for Middlesex by 102 runs to make it 2 wins from 3 and have them third in Group A. On Friday, they play leaders Nottinghamshire in Grantham, the town Sir Isaac Newton went to school. He may have formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation, but I bet he would struggle to stop Eskinazi at the moment.